up in the Bronx, the Yankees make their mark. It's the winningest team ever. Meanwhile, Joe Torre wants to keep on going and pass the 54 Cleveland Indians and then make sure they don't allow history to repeat. This is the New York City Marriott's New York Yankees scorecard. We are back in the Bronx. The Yankee faithful are assembling at the most historic place in sports, 161st Street and River Avenue, as you look up 155th Street. And we welcome you back to Yankee Stadium in the Bronx. It's going to be the Yankees and the Tampa Bay Devil Rays tonight. Early rains have gone away, and we think we're going to have clear skies tonight as the Yankee Stadium scene looks beautiful. They've spiffed up the place for the postseason, which begins on Tuesday right here. Good evening, everybody. I'm Al Troutwig. Yes, it's 111 wins. No other Yankee team has ever won that many. The only team in American League history to equal that mark was the 1954 Cleveland Indians. In segment 2 tonight on the New York City Marriott's Yankee scorecard, we're going to examine that season that ended with a loss. That's something that would be an impossible thought for Joe Torre to envision. Last night, the Yankees did it in convincing fashion, and it was another chance for Shane Spencer to star. He's not in the lineup tonight as the Yankees are going to send El Duque to the mound, Orlando Hernandez, and he'll go up against a guy who hasn't pitched in the major leagues in 3 years, a former member of the New York Yankees, Dave Eiland. So the scene was last night, the Yankees down 2-0 early, and it was unbelievable that Shane Spencer would come through again. Joe Torre has watched this guy play himself maybe into a starting role. The man on the mound was David Wells. It was El Duque who pulled his pants up, giving him a new look. They didn't like the look of this. Miguel Cairo driving in 2 early runs in a second inning in which David Wells walked 2. Almost an unthinkable thought. But in the bottom of the 6th, against starter Wilson Alvarez, Shane Spencer did this. Unbelievable opposite field power. With the bases loaded, he single-handedly wins the ball game. The Yankees jumped up, and then it was time to turn it over to the bullpen, which has really turned things on lately. Shane Spencer has got a lot of new fans here at Yankee Stadium. Jeff Nelson was the man called on to pitch a couple of innings, and in the 9th inning, here's how he ended it. Backdoor slider, good-looking stuff. And after the game was over, the Yankees had won their 111th game, meaning Joe Torre had passed Ralph Houck and now Miller Huggins.
Joe, you are now the manager of the Yankee team that's won more games. How does that feel?
It feels enormous. It really does. I know we have a lot of work ahead of us, but you know, this is completely separate, and just what we've done during the course of this year has been, hate to say unbelievable because it happened, but it's been terrific.
Were you thinking about the record? The last inning, they had shots you on the bench. You seemed like you were deep in thought.
Oh yeah, you know, even down 2-0, I said I want to do it tonight. I don't want to wait till tomorrow night. And you know, obviously we have to keep doing things, take Boomer out because we reach a pitch count with him and stuff like that. But it's really something. George Steinbrenner called me, and it was funny. He says to me, he says, "What's new? How'd we do tonight?" You know, I said, "Right." But you know, he should be congratulated also because you know, he didn't own the 27-9 team.
Seems like he did, though.
Well, yeah, it seems like he's been here a long time. But I'm really pleased, and Nelly gave me the ball after the game, so it's a special night.
Where's the ball go?
I don't know right now. It's in my pocket, and you know, it'll have a special place in my house.
Will one more win mean something to you because that'll break the American League record?
It will, but I don't think it'll mean as much as this one tonight. I mean, and to, you know, being a member of the Yankees and knowing what the Yankees have meant to baseball and to sports, not only baseball, and to you know, pass the 27 Yankees in wins is, I think that's the tops for me.
That was Joe Torre last night. So the Yankees stand at 111 wins. They tie the 1954 Cleveland Indians and have 3 chances to break that American League mark against a team that has never won here in the Bronx. Meanwhile, Shane Spencer ties a Yankee record for September rookie home runs. Gordon and Paschal did it way back when. Let's take a look now at the Burger King American League East standings. The Yankees at 111-48, well beyond the Boston Red Sox. And the Yankees, if they can keep that distance, will clinch the division by a wider margin than at any other time in Yankees history. Well, the Yankees have had some bumps and bruises, and tonight we're going to get a chance to see the status of Tim Raines and his knee in left field, and Darryl Strawberry. Strawberry's missed a couple of games after getting hit by a pitch in his calf. Yesterday he said he was fine. Joe didn't use him, gave him an extra day, and Joe Torre says he'll play tonight, and he hopes to get Darryl 6 to 8 at-bats through the rest of the 3 games that remain in the regular season. Tonight, as I mentioned, it'll be Dave Eiland going up against El Duque, Orlando Hernandez, and all he has to do is pitch like he did last time out. This guy does not have bad starts consecutively at all. He's got a huge heart. He's got that awesome pitching style that the Cleveland Indians couldn't deal with recently at Jacobs Field. He's a tough lefty, Jim told me, and that's the big difference in El Duque. He's got a lot more confidence in pitching inside to the lefties who dominated him earlier this season. His record is 11-4, the ERA just a shade over 3. He has struck out 129 while walking 51. That's a very good ratio. Dave Eiland at the Durham Bulls, 13-5, and ERA just under 3. Threw a lot of innings as he returns to the major leagues. The Yankee lineup tonight: Chuck Knobloch and Derek Jeter up the middle, Paul O'Neill in right, Bernie Williams is in center, Tino Martinez back at first base, Tim Raines will be in left, Darryl Strawberry is the DH, Jorge Posada will catch El Duque, and Scott Brocious will be at third. So that's an A team. Quentin McCracken is in center field tonight for Tampa Bay. Miguel Cairo, Scott McLean, Fred McGriff, Bubba Trammell, Rich Butler, Aaron Ledesma, Mike Kelly, Mike DeFelice. And remember, this team could be thinking a lot more about their families back home in Tampa with the hurricane than they are focused on this game tonight. When we come back, we're going to show you which team it was that the Yankees tied and why they don't want to have their chapter repeat in their history in 1998. Stay with us.
You are watching the New York City Marriott Hotel's Yankee Scorecard, brought to you by the New York City Marriott Hotels and by the Dime, the bank that's with you all the way.
We are back at Yankee Stadium. Tonight it's the Yankees and the Tampa Bay Devil Rays as the Yankees try to gain their 112th win of the season. No American League team has ever done that. It was Rudyard Kipling who said those who don't learn from history are doomed to repeat it. And believe me, this Yankee team knows all about the history of teams that had great players but failed to win. Such was the year in 1954 when the Cleveland Indians took the field and dominated. The Yankees now stand tied with them, but that's the last thing they want to share with that team. Tonight, the 1998 New York Yankees will try to cap off their remarkable season by going after their 112th win, establishing a new mark for excellence in the American League. Watching the countdown has been something. Following the lead of their ever-calm manager Joe Torre, the Yankees breezed through the campaign with an MVP-type year from Bernie Williams. Derek Jeter's near 200 hits. There was a career year from third baseman Scott Brocious, and a tremendous starting pitching rotation anchored by David Wells, and including Andy Pettitte with David Cohn. After tying the franchise mark for wins a few nights ago and then establishing a new Yankee win mark of 111 last night, the Bombers have spent the past months waiting for the playoffs. And with the ease and pace they've steamrolled through the rest of the league, it's a foregone conclusion. They'll win the World Series just like '96, isn't it? Not necessarily. In 1954, the Cleveland Indians won 111 out of 154 ball games. They were led by Al Lopez, like Torre, a former catcher. Outfielder Larry Doby was the league's MVP, and infielder Bobby Avila won the batting title, hitting .341. Third baseman Al Rosen enjoyed a career year, batting .300, and the starting rotation featured 2 20-game winners in Bob Lemon and Early Wynn, plus a 19-game winner in Mike Garcia. Playing to packed stadiums wherever they went, the Indians, unlike this year's Yankee squad, were involved in a tight pennant race. They went 26-6 in August, and on September 16th captured the American League pennant, capping off a tremendous season at the shores of Lake Erie.
Season started, we played well, and then as the season went on, you realize the fact that things are going well. You had players on the team having an excellent year. No one had a bad slump in terms of those individuals who were having a great year. So that you recognize and that you realize the fact that you were involved in a thing where you had a chance to win the pennant. Now, the other thing people don't realize is that we won 111 games that year, but the Yanks won 103 games. So it wasn't a thing where it was a cakewalk. It was a thing where we had to fight for every game, you know, to win that many games.
After a September doubleheader, the hated Yankees were eliminated, meaning the Indians went to face the New York Giants in the World Series. The Giants were a team that no one thought stood a chance.
We were the heavy favorites. Had a very good pitching staff. Had a good defensive ball club, and the Yankees had a good ball club too, and we beat them. I don't know what the record was against the Yankees in all our series, but we were ahead of them. And again, I say the Giants had great pitching. In any series, who has the best pitching is going to win.
In Game 1 at the Polo Grounds, Al Lopez sent his ace, Bob Lemon, to the hill. Lemon had been brilliant during the regular season, going 23-7 with a 2.72 ERA. Cleveland jumped out to an early lead, but the Giants came back to tie the game at 2 in the third, and it stayed that way until the 8th inning. That's when Vic Wirtz stepped to the plate with 2 men on, and he drove a Don Little pitch to center field that everyone thought would be for extra bases. But Willie Mays made a catch of legend. That seemed to take the heart out of the Indians. They lost Game 2, 3-1, but finally headed back to Cleveland, believing they still had a chance.
Oh, I thought we could win. I thought we could win because you're going back home. You got the fans there. You've got a good ball club. You've had some things happen to you that you know you haven't been accustomed to that year because you never had those things happen like that. But when we went back to Cleveland, I thought that we had a chance. I thought we had a good chance.
But in Game 3, just as in the first 2 games, Cleveland had trouble scoring runs. This time it was Ruben Gomez who shut them down 6-2, and the Indians would hit just 190 in the series. Bob Lemon started for them in Game 4 on 2 days' rest and tried valiantly to keep them in the game. But by the time the Indians had scored 3 in the 7th, the Giants already had a 7-run lead. New York would go on to win 7-4 in 4 games in one of the greatest upsets in World Series history. It left the Indians with the greatest single-season win total in AL history, with absolutely nothing to show for it.
Unfortunately, not a good memory is that you lost 4 straights in the World Series. I don't think too many people thought that that would happen. Maybe we would have gotten beaten, but not 4 straights. You're going to win at least 1 or 2 games. That was very disappointing.
I think almost everybody in the country were betting on us to beat the New York Giants.
I don't think we were ever able to get it going again after we won that 111 game, because we won the 111 game on a Sunday. And, you know, as I said before, the media remind us that who had the record. And as I said before, fans, of course, competition-wise, between the Yanks and us were great at that time. And you sort of, you know, relaxed a little bit. And when it came time to World Series time, I don't think most of it was quite up for it at that particular time.
The lesson? Forget the number of wins along the way. Just win the last game they play.
To win 111 games, you had to be on a high for a long period of time. And I think after winning 111 games, I think there was a little low. Now, to get back to that high wasn't that easy, and I don't think we ever got back to the feeling that we felt during the year when we were breaking the record.
Breaking records is always good for a sport, but you can't compare the players or people in any generation, in any line of endeavor. You have to compare how far they stand above their contemporaries. As far as the Yankees go, I'm pulling for them. Naturally, I'm an American leaguer. I want them to go ahead and, if the Indians are eliminated, I want the Yankees to win the World Series.
The work of producer Bob Luwani. Now, a young George Steinbrenner was one of the Cleveland Indians fans in 1954, so his heart was broken like everyone else, and maybe that's one of the things that has hardened him to live by the win or else doctrine. As we come back on the MSG pregame show known as the New York City Marriott's Yankee Scorecard, we'll get an update from the MSG Sports Desk. Later, it's Dave Eiland against El Duque.
is brought to you in part by your local Chrysler Plymouth dealers.
Kaufman back at the MSG Sports Desk. It's a 3-game season for the Mets, and it all starts tonight in Atlanta. Now, starting pitchers will be critical all weekend, and in Game 1 at Turner Field, it'll be Rick Reed against Bruce Chen. Now, for his career, which only dates back a couple years, Reed is 2-1 against the Braves with a 3.83 ERA, but he has not pitched well lately, 0-2 in his last 3 starts. But in his last outing against Atlanta, he did strike out 11 and 7 2/3. He got no run support. It was a shutout loss, but a fresh slate tonight. Rick Reed against Bruce Chen, and the Mets have to do well. It's Glavine and Maddox the rest of the way. The Cubs have to play the Astros. It'll be Kevin Tapani against Jose Lima in Game 1 at the Astrodome. The Cubs first, since Brant Brown dropped the ball in left field in Milwaukee. And the Giants finish the season in Colorado. Now, they are 1 game behind the Mets and Cubs, but definitely have the most momentum heading into this weekend. And Joe Carter says that the Giants have Brant Brown to thank for that.
Things like that happen. But at the time, they had it up on the Jumbotron in between innings, and we were going out. We were ahead of the Pirates 3-1 at that time. And then we see the ball go up, and we turn around, well, the Cubs won. And they say he dropped it, and the fans go wild, Dusty go wild. And, I mean, from that point on, it's like, hey, guys, you know, we have a chance. I mean, we can make a race out of this thing. It seems like everything is falling our way, and we're going to try to make the most of it. And like I say, yesterday's game, to win that game was very important. And now we've come back, and you know, this is like I say, this is a fun time.
The Cubs say if they need a win on Sunday, they will use Kerry Wood for about 3 innings. More as we look forward to Yankees baseball after this. The Angels are just about out of it. Texas has guaranteed themselves of at least a tie in the American League West. With a win tonight or an Angels loss, they are in. It'll be Indians Twins for 3 this weekend, and now Cleveland finally has something to play for. They are only 1 game better than Texas, and after cruising for most of the season, they need to win a few more games to clinch home field and avoid the Yankees, so they have something to play for against Minnesota this weekend. We will take a quick break, and when we come back, Al Trotwig and our crew out at Yankee Stadium will rejoin you. Enjoy Yankees in Tampa Bay next on MSG.
The Yankees set their sights on their own history, and yesterday passed the 27 Yankees to become the winningest team of the winningest franchise in baseball. All year, it's felt like a special season in the making, and last night it became official when Jeff Nelson powerfully negotiated the 9th inning to clinch a come-from-behind win over Tampa Bay. First, Joe Torre caught and passed Ralph Houck's 61 total, and now Miller Huggins' Murderers Row team is second on the list. 111 wins is the most any Yankee team has ever won, and only one other American League team did that. The 54 Cleveland Indians with manager Al Lopez and pitcher Bob Lemon. They had a barrier breaker in Larry Doby and the league batting champ Bobby Avila, but they didn't win it all. And all season, the 98 New York Yankees have said success will only come in the World Series. 3 games to go, though, and a chance to stand alone. MSG is the network for New York Yankees baseball, and tonight, under the lights at the most historic place in sports, it's the New York Yankees and the Tampa Bay Devil Rays. Just 3 games to go now in the 98 season. It'll be one-time Yankee Dave Eiland pitching for Tampa Bay. Meanwhile, it's the last tune-up before the postseason for El Duque, Orlando Hernandez. Well, good evening, everybody. We all know the postseason begins right here in the Bronx on Tuesday night, but we're not quite sure, as things are developing here late in the season, which team the Yankees will play. You see, the Indians are fading. The Yankees beat them 3 out of 4. The Rangers are rising, and now they trail Cleveland by only a game. Remember, the Yankees will face the team with the lowest winning percentage other than a team in their own division, which is not going to be Boston, obviously, because they have had the 2nd best record in the American League. Meanwhile, you remember the game the Yankees played in Tampa when Joe Torre scolded the team for maybe losing their focus? Here's the response. He knows how to push their buttons. They've won 7 of their last 9. They are 1 win shy now of the American League wins record, plus the bullpen. A concern just a couple of weeks ago. All they've done is allow no runs in the last 17 innings. Well, we hope you enjoyed our focus earlier of the 1954 Cleveland Indians. They're part of the pregame focus here upstairs with Jim Cott and Ken Singleton. Guys?
Thanks a lot, Al. You talk about coming to Yankee Stadium, and you never know what you might see. Seems like there's so much history made here, and this year we kind of take a casual attitude about these Yankees because every night they win game after game. But if they win tonight, we won't hear much about those 1954 Cleveland Indians anymore.
Well, we heard a little bit about them last night because that was the record that the Yankees tied by winning their 111th game. And last night when Jeff Nelson struck out Randy Wynn to end the ball game, the Yankees indeed had 111 victories, a new club record, and it ties the American League record. And if they can win tonight, well, they would break the record of the Cleveland Indians of 1954. They had an excellent ball club, and like the Yankees, they had good starting pitching. A Hall of Famer in Bob Lemon, and another Hall of Famer on the mound in Bob Feller. Notice how he gets the ball back. That happened very often for Feller, who was a hard-throwing, strikeout-type pitcher.
All right, and the Yankees, to compare to the other teams, are not going to catch the Cubs, but if they win tonight, they can say no other American League team has ever won 112 games. As Al mentioned, a final tune-up for Orlando Hernandez. We'll also see Andy Pettitte in the ball game tonight. We'll have it for you on MSG when we come back after these messages.
New York Yankees baseball is brought to you by the irresistible taste that makes you say, did somebody say McDonald's? By American Express. Wherever you are, whatever you're doing, American Express helps you do more. By Jeep, the most award-winning brand of 4x4s on earth. And by Nobody Beats the Wiz Home Entertainment Centers.
Could be another record-setting night at the stadium as Orlando Hernandez, who a little over 3.5 months ago made his major league debut against these Tampa Bay Devil Rays. He's looking for win number 12 in his 21st start. And the rest of his pitching line equally impressive. Less than a hit per inning and almost a strikeout per inning. Could be a strong candidate even with a late start for Rookie of the Year. Let's check out the starting lineup for the Devil Rays, brought to you by Bob Stores. Great buys on brands you wear. Quentin McCracken leads off tonight, then Miguel Cairo and rookie Scott McLean. Veteran Fred McGriff and Bubba Trammell and Rich Butler in the middle of the lineup. Aaron Ledesma, Mike Kelly, and Mike DeFelice, the bottom third.
Behind El Duque tonight for the New York Yankees in the infield, it's going to be Brocious, Jeter, Knobloch, and Martinez. Raines, Williams, and O'Neill patrol the outfield. Jorge Posada does the catching for Orlando Hernandez. Tim Raines has been bothered by a sore left knee. He's going to test it tonight. He hasn't played in quite a few days, but Joe Torre has him in there tonight along with Darryl Strawberry as the DH. So both of the veterans off the bench and in the action in this second game of this series.
Joe Torre has to find out if Tim Raines' knee is all right, and also if Darryl Strawberry is okay. He was kidding before the game. He said, news bulletin, I'm going to get fired tonight. Why? Shane Spencer's not in the lineup. Everybody came here to see the young phenom play, but he said, I have to find out about Tim Raines and Darryl Strawberry before Tuesday night. The speedy Quentin McCracken steps in. And a swinging strike to start the ball game. Spencer will sit tonight just to see if Raines and Strawberry are healthy enough to give it a go on Tuesday night. I'm sure Joe will be tempted regardless to start Shane Spencer in that game, especially from the psychological standpoint. He hit so many home runs on the nights David Wells pitches, and Wells will pitch Tuesday night. That's outside 1-1.
At least 4 of them, if I'm not mistaken.
Half of his home runs. And he has proven to scouts that he's not just a fastball hitter. Last night he took a Wilson Alvarez changeup down and away over the right field wall. He's hit a curveball over the center field fence, and we've seen him turn on the fastball. 2-1 to McCracken.
Cracken's had a heck of a year, an all-time record for hits by a first-year expansion player. Kiddy, you mentioned he was out of Duke University. Took political science and history. That was his major there. Graduate of Duke.
That's on the corner. 2-2.
Check out the scouting report on El Duque. Yes, he will have some hooks for the Devil Rays. Going for his 12th win since his debut on June 3rd against the Rays. And the Yankees are 15-5 in his start. So he has been very, very effective. And you toss in that he's 7-1 in the minors. He's had a heck of a year.
20-game winner because of that right there. Outstanding curveball, and he has made a lot of improvement in handling left-hand hitters as he did there to McCracken.
Well, this is the first curveball that he shows him, and it's a good one. Oh, right underneath the swing, and he's out of there. McCracken over the top, back to the dugout.
You mentioned hooks for the Devil Rays, and that was a good one. Andy Pettit, accustomed to seeing him on the bench, but those of you not aware of the Yankees situation, he's going to pitch a couple of innings out of the bullpen tonight. And I still think the percentages say he will start game 2 on Tuesday night. As Al Troutwig pointed out in our open, the Yankees at this stage don't know who they're going to play because Cleveland has been sliding and Texas has been on fire. And on the hands, grounded out towards short. Jeter will gobble it up and toss out Cairo. 2 quick outs in the Tampa first. Gives us a chance to identify our umpires tonight. Brought to you by NAM, National Arbitration and Mediation. Most timely, cost-effective way to settle your legal disputes. Honest John Shulock. He'll give you a good, steady strike, consistent strike zone, whether you're a hitter or a pitcher. He's behind the plate. And then Tim Cheetah, Brian O'Nora, and Rick Reed round out the crew. Our first look at Scott McLean, 6-year minor leaguer that the Tampa Bay Devil Rays plucked off the Baltimore Oriole roster. Looks at a curve for a strike. And outstanding athlete. That one hit you see, I'm sure he called home that night. It was off Randy Johnson back in May when he was called up. 1-1. And McLean, 6'4", 210. Outstanding football player in Southern California. Turned down a scholarship to go to Southern Cal as a quarterback to play baseball. 1-2. Good numbers in AAA. 34 home runs, 109 RBIs, and in addition was voted the best fielding third baseman in the International League. So the Devil Rays think they might have a player here. Fouled straight back in the fastball. 1-2 to McLean.
You know, Randy Johnson earlier this season with Seattle, a lot of people feel that he cheated that ball club, and now that he's over with the Houston Astros, he's turned it up a notch or 2.
Yeah, I think that's an excellent point. I think that has happened, unfortunately. Right center field looped out there. Looks like it's going to fall for a hit, and it does. So McLean gets his second big league hit, a 2-out single here in the Tampa Bay first.
See, Knobloch going to go back on this, and he has the best shot at it from a Yankee defensive standpoint, but it drops in over his head. So El Duque actually made a good pitch, jammed Scott McLean, but the ball drops in for the base hit.
And that means he has to face the veteran Fred McGriff. When El Duque made his debut here against Tampa Bay, pitched 7 innings and gave up but 1 run, and it was a home run to this man. Blocked by Posada, ball 1.
McGriff's been swinging a hot bat of late. He's 12 for his last 23. That's over a 7-game period. And right now he's tied with Yogi Berra, 47th all-time home run list with 358 career home runs. The crime dog.
Kirby Puckett gave him that name. A lot of people think that's high in the air to center field, but not very deep. Bernie Williams is there. And he's going to put it away. Yankees going for win number 112 would be an American League record. They're coming to bat against former Yankee Dave Eiland when we come back. We head to the Yankee half of the first inning here at the stadium, and the Yankees will come to bat against one of their former teammates, 32-year-old Dave Eiland, making his first major league appearance in 3 years. Here's the lineup he'll face tonight: Chuck Knobloch, Derek Jeter, and Paul O'Neill. Bernie Williams will try to have a big night and get that American League batting lead back. Then Tino Martinez, Tim Raines, and Darryl Strawberry for the first time in a while. Posada and Brocious at the bottom.
Let's check out the Devil Rays defensively. It's McLean, Ledesma, Cairo, and McGriff in the infield. In the outfield, it's going to be Butler, McCracken, and Kelly. DeFelice will do the catching for Dave Eiland tonight. Last night we saw John Flaherty behind the plate. Tonight it's going to be Mike DeFelice, and he has a strong arm as well.
There's the 32-year-old veteran, Dave Eiland, and Mike DeFelice. You mentioned his strong arm. Kenny second only to Pudge Rodriguez in throwing out base runners. Those numbers at AAA Durham, this guy has made 225 minor league starts in his career. And you see the numbers he compiled there. Good control. In his big league career, he is 6-15 and won his first game as a member of the Yankees back in 1989.
He's 32 years old now?
32. He's one of those guys that wishes they had a pension plan for minor leaguers.
Well, he played for the Durham Bulls this year. Wasn't it Crash Davis who spent all those years with Durham?
That's it. Quite a baseball city. It's AAA city now for the Devil Rays. First pitch to Knobloch was a ball, as is that one, 1-1.
I played in Durham for about a month and a half, but it was A-ball then. It was in the Carolina League. The city's grown. Get AAA ball now.
Nice new ballpark. We'll see how Dave Eiland fares. Jason Hockamy, the left-hander of the Cleveland Indians, started a game the other night. Of course, he was 14-2 at Buffalo, 3-0 in the playoffs, and 17-2 overall. But it gives you a little idea of the difference between the big leagues and AAA. That's in for a strike. It's not only maybe the strike zones a bit, the hitters, you pointed out, lay off pitches that hitters in AAA ball swing at.
Biggest jump in the minors from AAA to the major leagues. You go A, AA, AAA, big leagues. Whoop, big jump.
Yep. A lot of them get the double deck syndrome. You come up here to the big leagues and you look up there and wow, where am I? Here's good breaking ball from Eiland.
First slider he's thrown the night on a good count, 3-1. Fastball, slider, changeup.
And Knobloch fouls that out of play. The nerves won't be there for a pitcher like Dave Eiland. He's pretty well aware of his situation at 32 years old. Relaxing on the bench, David Wells, 5 innings last night to tune up for Tuesday. Just a matter of who he's going to face. Will it be the Texas Rangers, or will it be the Cleveland Indians who just left here? We'll have to wait out the weekend to find that out. Making some fans behind the dugout. On the edge for a strike. Knobloch knew it, walked away, and Eiland comes back from a 3-0 count to strike out Chuck Knobloch.
Made some good pitches. Target's right there. He's going to hit the target. Knobloch looking away, and the fastball's in on the inner half. Once again, another look at it, a little tighter shot. And you can see DeFelice didn't have to move the glove very much as Dave Eiland shows his good control.
Check out our Marriott Marquee pitching matchup and how they've done at Yankee Stadium. Dave Eiland, who has not pitched in the majors since '95 as a member of the Yankees, was 5-4 here. And El Duque in his rookie year has had quite a run, 7-1 with an earned run average of just 1.74. Derek Jeter rips it inside the line, down into the corner, and he's going to have a standing double. Talking about history being made from an individual standpoint. Yep, 200th hit. Always a goal that hitters shoot for.
Well, that shows consistency. The fact that you're a 300 hitter. Jeter's been around 320 all year, and there's the ball for the souvenir for Derek Jeter. First time in his career, 200 hits in a season. And this was no cheapie. A rocket down the third baseline that McLean could hardly move. And it's a double for Derek Jeter.
And Gene Monahan gets to handle a lot of important baseballs, the Yankee trainer. You guys get their first hit or any kind of a special hit like this. He's the keeper of them. Here's O'Neill. Well, I hope another great Yankee shortstop is watching tonight, because he turns 81 years old today, the Scooter, as well as ex-Yankee relief pitcher. Many of you fans remember Johnny Sane. He and the Scooter were teammates in the 50s, and they celebrate their birthdays today, same age.
There was a note here on Johnny Sain as we look at the retired numbers in Monument Park. Johnny Sain in 1946 came to the plate 104 times. Didn't walk, didn't strike out.
That's in for, or rather outside for a ball. That was, as a pitching coach, and he was my favorite, that's one thing I always tried to teach pitchers, is to make contact, go up there with the thought in mind that the count's 2 strikes.
Well, that's amazing. He didn't walk or didn't strike out the whole season.
And hit 300 one year. 2-0 to O'Neill.
Now he saw Jeter's 200th hit. The Scooter's the only other Yankee shortstop to have 200 hits in a season.
Select company.
Back in 1950.
Pulled foul, and the count is 2-1. The impressive thing about Derek Jeter in his 3rd full season, we mentioned last night he has scored more runs in his first 3 seasons than any shortstop in Major League history, is in every hitting department he has improved. Batting average is higher. He's got more hits, more home runs, more RBIs, more stolen bases. And in the field, which is most important to him, his error total has gone down every year. That's outside. 2-1. He has, in his rookie year, made 22 errors. Last year he made 18. This year he's only made 9. So every year he continues to get better and better.
Of course, in that 1950 season, the Scooter was the MVP in the American League.
O'Neill draws a walk. Jeter will get some votes. I don't think Derek is going to win it. There's just too much balance on this Yankee team to think that one man really carries the team. But he will get some consideration. I would certainly expect a top 10 guy. And tomorrow we're going to announce our MSG Player of the Year. Could it be Derek Jeter? We mentioned the other night there's certainly a lot of deserving candidates. One guy stepping in right now. Now Mo Vaughn in Boston, 1 for 1 with a couple of RBIs. He came into the game about a half a point ahead of Bernie Williams in the batting race. Both at approximately 334, but Vaughn percentage points ahead of him. That'll help catch up. Line drive to left, and Butler slips, which will allow Jeter to turn and score easily. And the Yankees are on the board. They lead it 1-0.
Now we've talked about Bernie Williams and his ability to hit. Larry Rothschild, the manager, looks on, and Bernie's on at first base with an RBI single. His 96th run batted into the season. And for Jeter, 125 runs scored, which happens to be the same amount that Scooter scored in his MVP season. Here's the line drive base hit. You could see the left fielder Butler go down on the slippery turf out there in the outfield. It rained prior to the game, and the infield was covered. You might see some spots on the infield where they put that diamond dirt down, diamond dust down, as you see Jeter rounding third and headed for home for the 125th time this year.
Other areas improved every year, scoring runs. Here's Tino Martinez. That's inside for a ball, who very quietly, almost Lou Gehrig-like. You know, Babe Ruth was the marquee player, and then Gehrig was in his shadow. You start looking at his home runs and RBIs, and there aren't many first basemen that are more productive than this guy. That's ground foul, 1-1.
Well, you got to be impressed by the way Bernie Williams approaches the ball. He doesn't try and overpower it. He takes what the pitcher gives, and the pitch was out over the plate, hits it the other way for a base hit. That's the way you build the batting championship, by hitting the ball to all fields and occasionally jumping up and hitting one out of the ballpark.
And from both sides of the plate. Breaking ball is in, and it's 1-2 to Tino. They want it inside, and that's where it is, but Tino's ready for it. Pulls it foul, still 1-2. I think Mark McGwire is the only first baseman in the major leagues that has more RBIs than Tino Martinez. Plenty of fans here.
Look out.
Way off the plate, 2-2.
Now let's check out the scouting report on tonight's starting pitcher for the Devil Rays. Proves you can go home again. He's back here at Yankee Stadium. Good changeup. Yep, this man is in Eiland.
Wants another sign. Off-speed pitch, fouled at the plate. We're talking about the batting race, and it's nothing strange to have a Yankee and a member of the Red Sox fighting it out for the batting title. Of course, Wade Boggs is in the ballpark tonight, not in the line. He was in the original lineup, but a little stiffness in the knees. He's a scratch. Might see some action tomorrow. It was back in 1986 when he and Don Mattingly battled for it. And Boggs ended up winning the title by 5 points. Towards second base, actually McGriff will cut it off, and the toss to Ledesma cuts down Bernie Williams. The Yankees will have runners at the corners with 2 down.
McGriff took the easier play to go to second with Eiland coming over, and McGriff, a left-handed fielder. He would have had him turn, pivot, and throw towards first to get Tino. So he erases Bernie Williams at second base. So Fred McGriff, veteran at first base. Nice easy play to Ledesma for the force out, and Tito Martinez safe on the fielder's choice. Devil Rays have an excellent fielding team. They have given up the 3rd fewest earned runs in the league, behind the Orioles and the Yankees. So they do make the plays in the field and the right decisions.
Probably talking about Alumni Day there down at the high school in Tampa that they both attended. Tino Martinez and Fred McGriff out of Hillsborough High. Fred a few years older as Tim Raines takes the ball. This will be at bat that Joe Torre and Chris Chambliss will pay attention to. They want to see if Raines is healthy enough to swing the bat and play next Tuesday night. Obviously, you'd like to go with some veterans. The Yankees did that in '96 and won the World Series. Did he check in time? Yes, he did. It's 2-0. But if they're less than 100%, particularly in this first go-around, you can change your roster after every series. Why, you might see Joe Torre ride that hot hand to Shane Spencer. Strawberry's the DH. He waits on deck. And we'll update you here on our Yankee game. Of course, the big matchups tonight all around baseball. Hit sharply right at Cairo. The second baseman tosses to McGriff. So the Yankees are retired in the first. They strand a pair, but it was Bernie Williams' RBI single that got the Yankees on the board. After 1, they lead it 1-0. Yankees off to an early lead, trying to establish a new all-time high in wins in the American League. And there's just 2 left in the regular season. You can catch the action as the Yankees close out the regular season against these Devil Rays. Tomorrow will be a 4 o'clock start, Sunday the 27th at 1:30. Tomorrow all fans receive a 1977 World Series replica pin, compliments of Chase Manhattan Bank. Tickets still available at the stadium windows, on the web. Ticketmaster as Bubba Trammell, the Tampa Bay designated hitter, takes the ball. Dozen homers and 35 RBIs. The Devil Rays last in, or close to last in, most categories when it comes to scoring runs and hitting in the American League. Larry Rothschild, a former pitcher, has kind of built his team around pitching and defense. That's a little high. I guess I was waiting for John Shulock to throw up the right arm, but a bit high, and it's 3-0.
It'd be interesting to watch the next few drafts of the Devil Rays, and you know, if there's a top-notch pitcher, I think you always got to take him.
Swinging on 3-0, and a nice favor for the Yankees as Posada puts it away. What a gift that is if you're a pitcher. You can't find the strike zone, and you get a nice little pop-up on a 3-0 pitch.
Leading off the inning. And you're down by a run. Unless you're going to hit the ball out of the park, it'd be best to take a pitch like this and make the pitcher work even more. Posada right there. Good form. One hands it. I was saying about the Devil Rays, if you always have a top-notch pitcher, I would think, unless you got somebody who is an everyday player is about ready to step in the big leagues and maybe a month in the minors, I think you got to take a good arm just about every time.
Which is what the Devil Rays did. Here's Rich Butler, left-hand hitter like his brother. Rob Butler performed for the Toronto Blue Jays, member of their 1993 World Championship team, both Canadian-born, and Rich has been up a few times this season with the Devil Rays. Quick update from Atlanta. The Braves have taken an early 2-0 lead against the Mets. Fouled straight back, 1-2 to Butler. Yeah, I think the point you make, Kenny, about starting with pitching, good foundation, but the Yankees are a great example, and we will illustrate that for you graphically here as the game goes on. A great combination of having pitching and hitting and fielding. That's why they've won 111 games. Pitching gives you some respect and gives you a chance to win, but you have to have all parts of it to really have a dominant season like the Yankees have had. Tapped out toward the mound. El Duque, excellent fielder, tosses to Tino Martinez in time, and there are two away in the Tampa Bay second.
Well, Kenny, you mentioned he's an excellent fielder. We've seen El Duque range from line to line on softly hit balls and get there quickly. One of his first starts, we saw him run over near the Yankee dugout on a pop foul ball, as if he was going to make the play himself.
He is even though he is a pitcher, you don't think of pitchers as position players. He is a position player out there in the mound. And that's good for any young player to look at. There's always a place for you to help out your team as a pitcher, backing up a base.
Nice soft hands. Almost looked like Jeter following that ball right in the glove.
Good curveball in for a strike. I think in a pinch he could play shortstop or center field if he had to. Fortunately for the Yankees, he doesn't have to with that guy there. Popped up second base. Knobloch is there, and El Duque will have a easy 1-2-3 second inning. He's pitched two, given up one harmless single. Yankees have a one-run lead. Back on MSG after this.
Hey.
New York Yankee, possibly record-setting baseball. Brought to you in part by your local Chrysler Plymouth dealers. They already have the franchise record, and that's the one they're looking for, the all-time American League mark, 112. Darryl Strawberry, first action since Monday night, will step in against Eiland, and that's outside for a ball. Darryl was hit on the left calf by Cleveland starter Charles Nagy, and then had to leave the game in the 7th inning as it tightened up. Well off the plate, 2-0, and Eiland, like Wilson Alvarez last night, a little difficulty getting ahead of the hitters. That's on the edge, 2-1.
Yeah, the difference between Wilson Alvarez and Eiland, though, is about maybe 8-9 miles per hour.
Yeah, when you got the power like an Alvarez, you can come back from hitters' counts, but not if you're Dave Eiland. That's ripped out into left field. Butler is playing deep, and he'll play it on a hop, and a good return to the lineup for Darryl Strawberry. A line drive single.
Eiland does have some movement on his fastball. It tails away from the lefties, and Darryl, with a good piece of hitting, just goes the other way with it and slams it into left field for a base hit. The setup by DeFelice is low and away. The pitch is almost to the glove and moving that way. So Darryl, as I mentioned, a good piece of hitting, just strokes it in the left center field for a base hit. And there's a man on to start the second. We were talking about Shane Spencer last inning, and I think one thing that Shane has going for him, besides a hot bat, nobody knows him that well.
Good point. There's for a strike to Posada.
All the video that the other teams have of him hitting home runs and line drives all over the ballpark, so they don't really know how to pitch to him. One thing I like about him is he doesn't swing at too many bad pitches, and he gets himself ahead on the count. Then when they come to him, he's ready. Outside
1-1, and flashing some pretty good forearms there. That gives you an idea why he hits the ball so hard and so far with that short, compact swing. Get those Popeye forearms. Pulled foul, hit well, breaking ball inside. Only thing Posada really could do with it.
Posada's had a couple of games this year where he's hit 2 home runs in a ball game, but both of them are on the road. Once at Seattle and once at Texas. 17 home runs. Pretty good production out of the Yankee catcher.
Yankees, of course, with that record-tying 9 hitters in their lineup that have double-figure home runs. Strawberry looks like he wants to go, and he is. DeFelice, an excellent thrower, not in time, and I think Darryl wanted to show Joe Torre, my legs are okay. I can not only hit, I can run the bases.
Well, we saw from early in the season that all the Yankees actually have the green light until they abuse it. Then Joe Torre might put on the no-go. But you can see Darryl with those long strides still can pick him up and lay him down. This will be his 8th stolen base of the year in 15 attempts.
Against a catcher who is second only to Pudge Rodriguez. So DeFelice could throw. Darryl got a good jump off Eiland. 2-2 to Posada. In the air to left. Let's see. Strawberry's going to tag. It's hit. He's just going to bluff. Not deep enough for him to advance. And disappointing at bat, I'm sure, for Jorge Posada. He would have preferred to pull the ball and advance Strawberry to third base. That's the first out of the inning. And Scott Brocious, he has had a lot of opportunities lately. Another runner out in scoring position for him to pick up an RBI. He has 96. 4 short of that magic 100 mark. Toward first base, McGriff is there. And he'll take it himself. Brocious retired in 1 pitch as Strawberry advances to third, and there are 2 away. Kenny, you're going back to the point about playing Shane Spencer, and a former teammate of mine, a good friend, Gene Tennis, is an example of that. When the Reds played the Oakland Athletics in 1972, the Reds didn't know that much about Gene Tennis. In their scouting report, what they did know said pitch him inside. Well, if you faced him in the American League, you knew, that's not where you pitch him. And, of course, he hit 2 home runs his first 2 at-bats in the World Series and went on to be the MVP in that World Series. And Shane Spencer has hit a home run off about every kind of pitch you can throw him. Fastball, curve, and change.
He's hit 1 to right center, 1 to center, and 1 to left here at Yankee Stadium.
Knobloch, a strikeout victim, his first at bat, takes ball 1. Hope you caught our piece on the New York City Marriott scorecard show on the 1954 Cleveland Indians. They featured a couple of players that have been very involved in the Yankee organization over the years, Bob Lemon and Al Rosen. That's low, 2-0. Hall of Famer Larry Doby, Bobby Avila, the batting champion. Fireballing Bob Feller. That's the core of the team that the Yankees are trying to surpass. Even had an ex-catcher managing that team like the Yankees do. That was the senior Al Lopez. Sharply to second base, but Cairo is right there to gobble it up. Strawberry leads off with a single, steals the base, but the Yankees can't convert it. We've played 2. Yankees lead it 1-0. Welcome back to the stadium. Fans have come to Yankee Stadium tonight in anticipation of the 112th win by the Yankees. That would be an all-time record for an American League team. Mike Kelly takes the curve from Orlando Hernandez in for a strike. Mike, an original Atlanta Brave. That's who drafted him. High expectations coming out of Arizona State. Now gets a chance to play every day. That's ground foul, 0-2. 10 homers, 31 ribbies.
I believe he spent some time with the Cincinnati Reds for a while.
When you see the hitting numbers of some of the Tampa Bay Devil Rays who have played the majority of the season, that's pulled foul outside of third, you really can appreciate, hey, that's a nice pick down there by Jake Ryan. Speaking of birthdays, in honor of Scooter, we'll throw a birthday in here and there. He's celebrating a birthday tonight. Happy birthday, Jake. When you look at those numbers and then compare them to Shane Spencer, it really gives you an idea what a productive month Spencer's having. Had him reach for it and hits it out to center field. Bernie Williams is there, one down. New York Yankee baseball is brought to you in part by American Express. Wherever you are, whatever you're doing, American Express helps you do more. That's a good way to get that banner shown. That'll bring up Mike DeFelice, the Tampa Bay catcher, batting ninth. And takes strike one.
Well, he mentioned the Devil Rays have some good defensive catchers in DeFelice and John Flaherty, but offensively, the numbers aren't very good. DeFelice hitting at 224. Flaherty's underneath that. That's why they each batted ninth.
Knobloch with the backhand play behind second will throw out DeFelice. Nice play. And there are two away in the Tampa Bay third.
Playing towards the middle. Toughest play for a second baseman, going away from first, then turning and throwing. But he had plenty of time there to get DeFelice. As Knobloch showing his range, almost coming out of frame. Sets up, makes the strong throw. Those first few steps by an infielder, those quick little choppy steps, then you lengthen your stride, reach out and get the ball.
Which is what Knobloch did there. And he's had to make an adjustment playing on Yankee Stadium as his home field, because he was primarily a turf second baseman in Minnesota. On turf, you could play a lot deeper. Here's McCracken. He pulls that in the hole for a two-out single. The Devil Rays' second hit of the ball game. Both of them have been two-out singles.
That's Billy Hatcher talking with McCracken, former Major League outfielder. Hatch started out with the Houston Astros. Of course, Houston might have a lot to say this weekend as to the fortunes of the Chicago Cubs and Sammy Sosa.
Should be some kind of weekend in Major League Baseball as we follow the wild card race, the home run race. Batting title on the line with Bernie Williams and Mo Vaughn. Cairo takes low for a ball.
I mentioned last night, Cairo's kind of tough to strike out, only once every 12.5 times up. And the way he uses that split grip, he's the type of guy could fit well in the second spot in the order. Raise his average a bit, move the ball around. He's hitting 268. That's not bad for a guy who hasn't been in the major leagues very long.
It's the kind of hitter you want there. And he tried to do it there, fouled it out of play. You're talking about Billy Hatcher starting out with Houston. But he was a teammate of Paul O'Neill, and did he have some kind of World Series when Paul O'Neill and Billy Hatcher were a member of the 1990 Cincinnati Reds? I think Billy Hatcher hit about I think he hit about 500 that. He did not get the MVP because of the dominant performance by Jose Rijo, ex-Yankee, who was the dominant pitcher for the Reds then. They swept the Oakland A's in 4. What a shock that was as we previewed the 1954 Cleveland Indians in their record-setting year, and they were swept by the Giants. That's what happened to Oakland in 1990.
You only missed by a little bit, Kitty.
Did he hit 600?
He was 9 for 12 in the World Series.
Well, I was at that one. I knew he spent a lot of time on base.
9 for 12 with 4 doubles and a triple.
McCracken on the go. Cairo fouls it straight back, and the count is 1-2. And while Quentin McCracken returns to first base, we'll just update you on the National League wild card race. Cubs and Astros not quite underway. Kevin Tapani and Jose Lima, the pitchers there. Braves already up a pair over Rick Reed and the Mets. And then a little later out in Colorado, The Giants, who are still in it, will take on the hot-hitting Colorado Rockies. And we'll keep you posted on all the action there. Cracking on the go again. Posada will have no chance on that breaking ball that was well out of the strike zone. So the Devil Rays have a runner in scoring position.
Stolen base number 19 for McCracken. Randy Wynn, the only Devil Ray, has more stolen bases than McCracken as he now stands at second.
And a quick bulletin from Houston. The Astros have matched the Braves to help out the Mets. They lead the Cubs 2-0. Outside, count is full to Cairo. Derek Bell, talk about the killer bees. You think of Bagwell and Biggio, and then they come up with Derek Bell, who was another outstanding all-around player, to go with Moises Alou. Gives you an idea how good the Astros are. Bell hit a 2-run homer in that one.
You might want to throw in Sean Berry, who's having a pretty good year in those bees.
Solid team. Looped out into center field. Bernie Williams will have to play it on a couple of hops, and the Devil Rays will get on the board. 2-out single, stolen base. And a base hit by Cairo, his 46th RBI, and we're tied at 1.
Well, each game I've seen Cairo, he's batted down in the lineup. But tonight in the second spot, and he picks up the base hit. Well, actually, this is the 46th time that he has started in the second spot in the order. And he delivers right here. See how that split grip, he was able to bring the barrel of the bat through, even on an inside pitch, and force that ball off of him in the center field for the base hit.
Which gives you a good idea of what a valuable number 2 hitter he can be. When you can take a pitch inside like that, hit it the opposite way. I think one of the best in the last 3-4 decades of doing that was former MVP shortstop for the Pirates, and Dick Grote. I mean, you could throw it at him and he could hit it to right field. Here's Scott McLean. Spent the year at AAA. Cairo's on the run. Quick release by Posada, and he's got it. Got a nice pitch to throw, and Jorge executed it perfectly. Cairo is gunned down, but the Devil Rays get on the board. And we're tied at 1 as we head to the bottom of the 3rd. Tied at 1 as the Yankees seek their 112th win. Let's check out the Delta Airlines upcoming schedule. Not much left. Tomorrow we'll start with our New York City Marriott's scorecard show at 3:30, and then Sunday at 1 o'clock. Of course, Sunday is the tribute to Joe DiMaggio, last regular season game on the schedule. David Cone, still with a shot at 20 wins, will pitch tomorrow afternoon for the Yankees. Hideki Irabu will start the game on Sunday. And of course, on the pregame show tomorrow, we will announce our MSG Yankee of the Year. This guy here's a candidate. Derek Jeter, double in his first at bat, takes a breaking ball on the corner, strike 1.
A lot of competition for that award this year.
You could pick any one of 5 or 6 players and not go wrong. 1-1, pitches low. Tino Martinez having a big year, as is Bernie Williams, Derek, Paul O'Neill, Scott Brocious. Pitchers, you have Wells and Cone, Mariano Rivera. 2-1 now to Jeter. Have to check the box score and see how Rodriguez and Griffey did last night. The Rangers thumped the Mariners 9-3, but that's fouled straight back. I think that Derek Jeter and Chuck Knobloch may have taken over the American League lead as far as scoring runs as a tandem. Just check that out a minute. Yeah, they're up to 240. They're 1 ahead of Rodriguez and Griffey. The middle. In the center field, and hit number 201 by the Yankee shortstop. And a couple of knocks to help him stay in the American League batting race. Outside shot.
You know, Kenny, we've talked about Jeter needing 1 home run for 20, and I saw him before yesterday's game, and he said to me, he didn't mention home run, he said, I need some hits. And he's got 2 tonight, 2 solid ones. First time up, it was a double. This time, a smash right back through the legs of Dave Eiland, and a base hit. Not much you get. Whoa. Couldn't even get the glove down quickly enough. He's lucky that didn't get a shin.
Paul O'Neill takes the ball. The swing that Derek put on the 2 balls tonight gives you an idea. He does want some hits, because for a few games there you could tell he was lifting the ball in the air, and you almost thought he's trying to get that 20th home run. Now he's back to more of the Derek Jeter swing we've seen all year. Gets away from DeFelice, but he keeps it in front of him. 2-0 to O'Neill.
Yeah, when you're hitting well, home runs will come. When you're getting your base hits and doubles, home runs will come. When you're trying to hit home runs, you're not going to get anything.
I can't remember any home run hitter really saying that they consciously swung and tried to hit a home run. Most of the time, hitters just try to hit the ball hard and drive it. Good backdoor breaking ball catches the corner. 2-1 to O'Neill. Mets have picked up a run now. They trail 2-1 in the 3rd inning. Down in Atlanta, Jeter dives back in.
Looked like Jeter was going. He had a little bit of move towards second before scrambling back to first. Already with 30 steals this year. Has only been caught 6 times. Great percentage.
O'Neill gets tired of waiting. Paul also top 10 in the American League in hitting. Too far back to win the batting title. Came in hitting .318, but Jeter has upped his .324 average a couple of points to get into the 3rd spot. And a good hitting count for O'Neill, 3-1.
Good running count for Jeter, too. You would figure O'Neill would hit a ball hard somewhere if he got a good pitch to hit. 3-1.
Now, this is a count that Joe Torre manages, and it's quite a change in the game versus years ago. You always allowed a hitter on 3-1 to pick out his pitch and hit it. If he didn't want it, he took it. But Joe has used this count a great deal to hit and run. There goes Jeter, and the pitch is outside, so O'Neill doesn't have to swing and draws a walk. The Yankees have runners at 1st and 2nd, nobody out. That's where he could trust the discipline of Paul O'Neill. On a 3-1 count, send the runner.
You know, the reason why they send runners 3-1, they try and stay out of double plays, number 1. You have those outs erased 1 at a time. Managers like to protect those things like golden eggs. Don't want to give up those outs 2 at a time.
And the hit and the walk gives the Yankees 1st and 2nd, nobody out. And Bernie Williams, already 1 for 1, steps in. Inside for a ball, and the Cubs, just like the Mets, looks like it's going to be that kind of weekend. They've scored a run, 2-1 in each of those ball games. We check out the updated New York Presbyterian batting leaders. Mo Vaughn is 1 for 2. Brought to you by New York Presbyterian Hospital, area's new leader in healthcare. Jeter moved into the 3rd spot. Albert Bell with a big year in the top 5 with Eric Davis. Eiland can't find the corners on the plate here in the big leagues, coming off that great AAA season, 13-5. He falls behind Bernie, 2-0.
Yeah, both Bernie Williams and Mo Vaughn are serious about this batting race. Mo Vaughn with the hits tonight, or the hit tonight, it has a 14-game hitting streak going. Bernie has an 8-gamer going.
3-0. DeFelice out to the mound. Give us a chance to talk about the batting races that have involved Yankees and Red Sox over the year. Mentioned Boggs defeated Mattingly by 5 points in 1986, but go all the way back to 1939. The man will be honored here on Sunday. Joe DiMaggio hit .381 that year. Jimmy Fox of the Red Sox was 2nd. He hit .360. That'll usually win you a batting title. Mantle and Williams in 1956. Mickey won that by 8 points. Williams turned the table on him at 57. He hit 388 to Mantle's 365. And Bernie Williams, if he sees one he likes, will probably be hitting here on 3-0. Got a breaking ball. And looked like a breaking ball on 3-0. Wow, that's... With Tino Martinez waiting on deck, that's not a lot of faith in your stuff, I guess. Rick Williams, the pitching coach, is going to make a trip to the mound because the Yankees have him loaded with nobody out.
Here's that last pitch. It looked like a slider. He was trying to hit the back door with it. Forgot to bring the key.
Slider or a changeup, but it didn't look like a good fastball.
Yankees have hit 8 grand slams this year. The first one of the season was hit way back on April the 17th by Tino Martinez. And this young man has the last 2 that the Yankees have hit.
Got 2 grand slams in 1 week. Mike Duvall, left-hander in the Tampa Bay bullpen, getting ready. And the crowd sensing what can happen here tonight, and the Yankees with a great opportunity to break this one open. In at the knees for a strike.
You know, Rick Williams is probably talking about damage control. You know, try and get yourself a ground ball here. You're going to give up 1 probably.
Reaches, hits it toward McGriff. They will take the sure out as Jeter scores. Credit Tino Martinez with an RBI on the force out. And the Yankees take a 2-1 lead.
That's almost an instant replay of Tino's first at bat when he forced Bernie Williams at second. But this time he will get a run home as Derek Jeter will score from third base, give the Yankees a 2-1 lead. There's the force of Bernie Williams. Ball not hit hard enough to turn 2 as McGriff, the very same play that he turned in the first inning.
So Jeter, 2 hits and 2 runs scored for the Yankees. Going into last night's game, Ray Durham had him by 1 run. Derek might win that title. Tim Raines takes inside for a ball. Hit for strike, 1-1.
Yeah, Tim Raines knows something about leading the league in run scoring. He did it twice. Back with the Montreal Expos in 1983, scored 133 times to lead the National League. And in 1987, scored 123 times to lead the league. That's when he was one of the premier leadoff men in the game.
And a former batting champion during those days. And you've referred to it often this year. The Yankees have so many hitters in their lineup that were leadoff hitters at one time or another with other teams.
Well, we got Knobloch here. Jeter's done it in the past. Bernie Williams, Raines, even Paul O'Neill in the minors.
He's at third now with Tino at first, and Raines takes another pitch on the outside corner, and the count's even at 2.
I don't think Raines agreed with this call. And you see DeFelice sitting out there, and here's an overhead look at it. See, Raines has that experience as a leadoff hitter. He'd probably say, I made a good living taking pitches just outside like that for years.
Way off the plate. Count is full. Boy, it's a nice shot there watching an outstanding receiver like DeFelice. He just tugged that in a couple of inches to influence the call by John Shulock. Now the count is full. And you'd expect Tino Martinez might be off with the pitch. And he is. And it's ground foul. We'll do it again.
Once again, trying to stay out of the double play. extend an inning so you get another shot at scoring a run, which Darryl Strawberry coming up next.
That makes for a tough night for Dave Eiland, as you see Strawberry, another left-hand hitter. And the Yankees just have that lineup stacked with left-hand hitters tonight. In the hole, Martinez on the run, will have to stop at second, but Raines, good hitting on the 3-2 pitch. Singles to left, picks up his 47th RBI and extends the Yankee lead to 3-1.
Well, another reason why you send runners, because the infield opens up, holes open up for you. The shortstop and second baseman have to cover the bags, and Ledesma was the one who made a few false steps towards second base to cover. He can't recover in time and go back the other way as Raines forces the ball through the vacated hole. Here's a look at it. Ledesma not even in the picture. He had gone towards second to cover the bag.
And here's Strawberry with a chance to really break it open. 3-1 Yankees, 2 on, just 1 out, and Eiland having a difficult time trying to handle these left-hand hitters. There you see Martinez and Raines, the runners. Two and 0. Another hitting count most of the Yankee lefties tonight have had. Counts like this to hit. 2-0, 2-1, 3-1. And the patience of Larry Rothschild, first-year manager, tested here this season. 3-0. And yes, he will be. With Darrell's power, he's the kind of guy on 3-0. He takes these 3-0 pitches over the center field wall when he decides to swing at them. Got out in front of that one. Cairo too short to Ledesma, not in time at first. So not the swing, not the pitch that Darrell wanted on 3-0. Eiland got him out in front. Forces Raines at second, Martinez to third. Now there are 2 down with runners at the corners.
Well, Darrell hustling down the line, and secondly, as Cairo turned, he's going to turn completely around to make the throw. That all takes a split second to do. Ledesma's throw, a little bit of pressure put on him, and with Strawberry batting left-handed, he has an extra step going down the line. And watch Raines go in here. All over Ledesma like maybe a third date.
Another one of those neighborhood plays. Watch Ledesma in his haste to get it. Heard the safe call there by Brian O'Nora at first, but in his haste to get it to first, those quick feet, he never really touched the bag when he caught the ball. Here's Posada, runners at the corners. Outside for a ball. The Yankees have had a lot of base runners. They left 2 in the first inning and scored a run. They left another one in the last inning. And that's going to be looped out into left field. An RBI for Posada. Strawberry is hustling to third. Jorge to second. The double raise. Throw it into third base. So Posada will have an RBI double. And it's 4-1. And that's going to be all for Dave Eiland.
As you mentioned, Kenny, the lineup stacked with lefties, and not only lefties, they're looking to go deep and hit home runs. Yankees have hit a lot of homers. Eiland's aware of that, but Yankee left-handed hitters who are good hitters, willing to take what the pitcher gives them. We've seen Strawberry hit a ball to left field tonight for a base hit. You've seen Raines go that way, and now Posada will go the other way. Breaks his bat, but still pitches out over the plate, goes the other way, picks up the base hit. You know, you're up there. Not every pitch is thrown up there to be hit for a home run. And you're up there thinking, well, a single will do the job. And it does. It scores another run. It's a 2-base hit for Posada and Eiland.
So Posada and Girardi, 94 RBIs between them now. Yankees lead at 4-1 back after this. New York Yankee baseball. Fans loving it here at the stadium. Brought to you in part by Hertz. For business, for pleasure. Nobody does it exactly like Hertz. Well, Sammy Sosa and Mark McGwire have some fans at the stadium tonight. We will update you on that home run race as well. There's 29-year-old Rick White out of the Pittsburgh Pirate organization before the Tampa Bay Devil Rays drafted him, and there's his pitching line this season. He'll face Scott Brocious, and again, Scott Brocious with an opportunity to get to that 100 RBI man. Has Mark has 2 in scoring position. First pitch in, first strike. Right center. That's going to drop. He's going to pick up 2 of them. Strawberry and Posada score. Brocious RBI totaled at 98, and the lead is at 6-1. It was a 5-run inning last night, courtesy of Shane Spencer's grand slam that provided the margin of victory, and a 5 spot on the board tonight in the 3rd.
And Scott Brocious now with 98 runs batted in. What a season. You might wonder how does a guy go about from the 7th, 8th, and 9th spot in the order driving in so many runs, because he hits so well with runners in scoring position.
Knobloch takes a strike, and those of you that have been with us all year aware of how many times the Yankees bat around, and here they do it again. It's the 36th time this year the Yankees have batted around. Knobloch, the 9th man to hit here in the 3rd inning. 0-2.
Yeah, Brocious better than 373 now with runners in scoring position this season. That's amazing. You know, there are hitters that turn it up a notch when you put the men out there. Concentration levels go up, they pick a good pitch, and they drive it.
Knobloch spoils that one. Chuck, the only man in the Yankee lineup that has not been on base tonight. Struck out to start the ball game and grounded out to end the 2nd inning. Fouled out of play again, and the count's still 0-2. So Orlando Hernandez will probably get a chance to pitch a couple of more innings and qualify for his 12th win. Joe Torre is going to send Andy Pettit out there for a couple of innings. And then maybe Mariano Rivera, regardless of the score, will get an inning's worth of work. That's high, and it's 1-2. Mets have tied it at 2 now in the 4th inning down in Atlanta.
As I mentioned, El Duque, if he picks up his 12th win tonight, you throw in the 7 that he got in the minor leagues. He's had a heck of a year. He was 7-1 in the minors.
In on the hands, foul out of play. For a long time, Rolando Orojo, the fine right-hander, Cuban descent, as well as Hernandez, looked like the American League Rookie Pitcher of the Year. He's 14-12. He's had a bad second half and is on the disabled list now. As you see, Mike Duvall, the lefty who was up earlier, probably getting ready to face Paul O'Neill and Tino Martinez should they come up again. Well, a tough start for Knobloch. 3 innings. He's made 3 outs. But Derek Jeter has 2 hits. This ignited the rally. The Yankees scored 5, and after 3, they lead it 6-1. Al Trautwig joins me after this. Yankees blowing the Devil Rays out early. They're 6-1, and that does not bode well for Tampa Bay because they don't score a lot of runs, which means the Yankees might hit that all-time record. That's a nice piece on the 54 Indians.
I just got to talk about it.
Yeah.
But, I mean, assembling all the footage and doing the interviews. Bob Lawani, our producer, had the good fortune of going to interview Larry Doby and Bob Feller. That's a great day right there, isn't it?
And a couple of former Yankees involved in it. Al Rosen and Bob Lemon.
And tonight on the National Finance Sports Desk with Marv Albert, if you missed a chance to look back on that 1954 Indian season, they're going to air it again. Scott McLean hitting only 125. He singled though in his first at bat against El Duque. I think he's looking real sharp tonight, Jim.
I think he's relaxed. He's got a team that he made his debut again and handled quite well. So there's an awful lot of confidence there.
Boy, that seems like a long time ago, doesn't it?
I can only think of 1 or 2 games. A game out in Anaheim and I'm sure Mel Stottlemyre feels the same way, that he was really flat. He looked so consistent start to start.
Ground ball, fair. Brocious deep in the hole, long throw. Great play. A big-time arm. 1 out.
Not only his hitting ability shows you that big-time arm. When Scott Brocious came up, I asked Tony La Russa in Oakland about him. He said he's got the best arm of any infielder in the American League. That was about 4 or 5 years ago. And watch him go to the deepest part of the infield, goes into foul territory, and I mean, he threw that with very little effort and got it over there well in time. And as you might expect, Al,
Producer Eddie Caginelli jumps right into action, naming it the Hoover pickup of the game. Fred McGriff, ball 1. It is amazing, though, sometimes when you think back what has happened early in a baseball season, and it really does feel like it was a long time ago. And so in that spirit, over the course of the last 3 games of the year here on MSG, we're going to sprinkle in some of what have become our favorite memories, moments of the year, flashbacks of the 1998 season. Some of them will feel like they happened just a few days ago, and others will feel like they happened in a different time.
yeah, the Yankee fans that have been following the games on MSG all year will, will look back. Oh, yeah, I remember that game, even though it was back in April or May. That'll give you a point of reference.
And Del Duque misses on 4 straight pitches, pitching carefully to one of those tough left-handers. 1 out, 1 on. Yankees up 6-1, knocking Dave Eiland out of the game. And are these all the wins?
Yep.
Oh, man. That's what you call coming prepared. Oh, man.
What time did they get here?
They started last night. 111 Yankee wins, going all the way back. Oh, remember that 15-13 game?
Yeah, I think we might show some highlights from that. Wasn't that the...
That was the David Wells turnaround game, right? Center field. Bernie Williams moving over, says it's mine, and he's true to his word. 2 outs. That'll bring up Rich Butler, who's playing left field tonight for the Tampa Bay Devil Rays. And they are directly... Hi!
Man, that is... I don't know how many participants in that 111 banners with all the scores.
That is really something.
So you figure they started right after last night's win, got the magic marker out, hit the copy machine.
Good job up there.
Came here with a wheelbarrow full of those papers.
I don't think there's any doubt that the Yankee fans are the most creative fans in baseball.
Yeah.
Swing and a miss. I mean, from the K signs to that, to the banners, to the savvy. Butler grounded back to El Duque in his first at bat. This one really feels like it's over, doesn't it?
I think with about 2 runs in the 3rd to Larry Rothschild, it felt like it's over because his team just doesn't score many runs.
Another pop up. This one to short left. And Tim Raines has it. Scott Brocious started off the inning with one you want to put a little asterisk next to on your scorecard. Good scoop and an even better throw.
Sports News Primetime. Wild card teams getting the advantage? Not anymore. Tonight, for better or worse, the owner's new plan for this year's playoffs. Tonight at midnight.
MSG's coverage of New York Yankees baseball is brought to you in part by the new Dodge. See your local Dodge dealer today. Al Trowick, Jim Cott back at Yankee Stadium. The work of some very dedicated fans marking each and every game. There's David Wells' perfect game. Yankees 4, Minnesota nothing on the 17th of May. Every single one of the 111 wins has a little spot in the upper deck. Here's Derek Jeter. And we have news from the Astrodome in Houston. Depending on your frame of reference, Route 66 either starts or ends in Chicago. And Sammy Sosa has tied the game with the Astros with his 66th home run of the season. Wow.
And the Cardinals and Expos no score in the 3rd, so McGuire will get a few opportunities to tie him.
Jeter lays off. It's 1-1. But Jeter didn't just pause at 200 hits. He went right on by, just like the Yankees at all these records. They're going right on by. And the Yankees have been busy running tonight, too. Jeter with a stolen base. Four to 3, and Jeter's 2 for 3. All right, here's what's cooking in the National League wild card race, and what a wild weekend this is going to be for the fans of the Mets, Chicago, and San Francisco. The Mets have come back to tie Atlanta in Atlanta, and Chicago's Sammy Sosa home run ties that game in the Dome, both in the 4th inning. And then tonight, San Francisco, with knowledge of where they stand, will play the Colorado Rockies. And the fans are reacting. They obviously approve.
And they're headed to the back windows of their cars here in New York to change the number to 66. Wow, what a follower he's got here in New York.
And Paul O'Neill did a good thing. He saw them put it up on the scoreboard, heard the ovation, and stepped out. Just let baseball enjoy the moment. He's behind in the count, 0-1. The real difference for Sammy Sosa and Mark McGwire has got to be the mood of the entire team. I mean, they're striving to win something. I mean, and the Cardinals have nothing.
And if you don't think the home run is what attracts people to baseball and power pitchers like Randy Johnson and Nolan Ryan, just listen to the buzz. We can hear the buzz in the stadium right now. And that's what they're talking about.
O'Neill in the midst of a little bit of a cool stretch. He has walked twice tonight. Fouls that one off. It's going to remain 0-2. How do you view this National League wild card weekend? Do you feel like the Giants have an edge because they're coming on?
No, I don't think so. I think going into Colorado, the Giants pitching has not been too good this year, and those Rockies can score some runs. Quick update: the Braves scored 2. They're on top now, 4-2 in Atlanta. But it's I think obviously a tougher road for the Giants. If they had a couple of big-time pitchers, they have, Mark Gardner pitched a great game, but they don't. Sean Estes has had an off year this year, and you go into Colorado and you're looking at Walker and Vinny Castilla and those thumpers there. I think you're at a disadvantage. Andrew Jones hit his 31st home run. That's how the Braves got up by 2.
2 balls and 2 strikes to Paul O'Neill. Here's one of the things that O'Neill has brought to the Yankees all season long: the intelligent at bat. The patient at bat. Working the count. Once you get to 2 strikes, somehow, any way you can, getting a bat on the ball to stay alive. Bouncing ball up the middle. And O'Neill is retired. 2 outs. We understand there's a rare sight in the Yankee bullpen, and it's Andy Pettitte warming up to relieve El Duque for the first time since he first made 5 appearances out of the bullpen when he got started with the New York Yankees.
Yeah, and he's going to pitch just a couple innings. Joe Torre has been quite coy about official announcement, but I have a feeling he's the guy you're going to see on the mound Wednesday night in Game 2. And then later on in the series, if it goes 5 games, see, by pitching Game 2, Pettitte would be available to also pitch in relief and join Graham Lloyd, who has improved his position in the last few outings.
Yeah, Joe Torre had some great things to say as Bernie Williams steps in about Graham Lloyd, and he said the big difference, and it's the reason that he still feels good about Andy Pettitte regardless of a grand slam or a loss here or there. He spoke about the consistency of their stuff. He said the stuff was consistent. It wasn't like, what he wasn't seeing from Graham Lloyd was velocity on a fastball, for example. He thought he saw all those things yesterday.
Well, he struck out Tommy Justice and Fred McGriff in his last couple of appearances, so that bodes well for the Yankees in postseason play.
Bernie swings and misses, 1-2. El Duque in the ballgame has given up 1 run on 3 hits. The Yankees put a 5 spot on the board in the 3rd for him, so he's up 6-1. How does his movie end? We know how it starts.
El Duque's?
We know the middle.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Does he end on the pile of bodies celebrating on the mound? Is that the final scene of the movie? Ground ball that gets through. Bernie Williams doing everything he can to keep up with Mo Vaughn in the American League batting race. He's got 2 hits and 2 at-bats.
And with that base on balls, the perfect 2-for-2 will put him just a touch ahead of Mo Vaughn. You see the pitch is on the inside part of the plate, but Bernie's quick enough to still get the barrel on it. Vaughn 1 for 2 up in Boston, so Bernie would be at least a half a point, maybe a point ahead. Pitch was inside, just not enough on it from Rick White's standpoint. Bernie got the barrel out.
Now Rick White will face Tino Martinez, who has reached on 2 identical fielder's choices. He got credit for an RBI in one of them and is hitting .282 on the season. Foul it straight back. Now, every once in a while, Jim, we can present a statistic because of the history of the Yankees that really almost takes your breath away. Tino Martinez becomes only the 4th Yankee in their history to drive in 120-plus runs in 2 straight seasons, and look who he's on the list with. Are you kidding?
I mean, Don Mattingly didn't do that.
Babe Ruth, Lou Gehrig, Joe DiMaggio, Tino Martinez.
Mickey Mantle didn't do it? That's
really
unbelievable.
something.
Now, we mentioned earlier, I think this year Mark McGwire is the only first baseman in Major League Baseball that has more RBIs than Tino.
Oh, is that right?
I think so.
Two balls and 2 strikes. And when you consider all the time that Tino missed after the pitch hit him in the back from Armando Benitez, I mean, that he put up 120 RBIs again is even more marvelous. Popped it up, short center field. And Quentin McCracken pulls it down. The Yankees will strand Bernie Williams at first base. So we played 4 innings in the Bronx. Yankees 6, Tampa Bay 1. What better camera to bring us back than the NFC Skycam, because Yankees baseball is brought to you in part by the National Finance Corporation. Homeowners, lower your monthly payments. Apply by phone 1-800-LOAN-NFC. Jim Cott's got the inning off. Ken Singleton's here for the top of the 5th. Ken, how are you tonight?
I'm doing fine, Al. How are you? Nice little 5 spot there in the 3rd.
Yeah, that was pretty ugly for Dave Eiland. Andy Pettit still throwing. Joe Torre watches El Duque take this one off the foot. What a play by Brocious. Scoop by Tino, and there's 1 out. Say this about the Yankees. Over the course of the last 10 days, Joe Torre has had them respond. They have played extremely sharp, and now they want to make sure El Duque is okay, and he's waving him off saying, I'm fine, I'm fine.
Steve Donahue out to the mound anyway, and they're just going to give him a little chance to recover here. If Joe Torre out there as well, and he's waving the hands as to say, I'm all right.
He's great.
I'm not off my feet.
He is really a very special guy. So he waves off Joe. Here, score it 1-5-3 on your scorecard.
First of all, off the left heel, I believe. How many times have you seen Scott Brocious bare hand and make an accurate throw? This one kind of low, but scooped out by Tino.
Watch how Scott's hand is so wide open, so spread wide to grab the ball.
And also, when you make that reach with your bare hand, your right foot is right next to the ball, because you can't reach it across your body with your left foot in front. So that's a third baseman trying to stagger their steps to get that right foot planted, then reach down for the ball.
Mike Kelly is the hitter for the Tampa Bay Devil Rays, who've lost 3 in a row. Here's what El Duque was looking like after this play unfolded.
Well, there's the ball off the shoe and the heel, and yeah.
You like that?
Yeah.
You know, he got lucky because I think, as everybody knows, because they have shoes, the base of the heel is probably the most structurally solid piece of a cleat or any shoe. So all that hard rubber down there.
So you don't slide all over the place when you plant your foot. You're right. He is a special dude, isn't he?
Everything about him. His attitude about life. Here he's fallen behind in the count to Mike Kelly. And, you know, we thought maybe that David Wells last night was doing some Babe Ruth tribute because it was the anniversary of Babe's last game. No, it was just Del Duque went in and pulls his pants up before the game, so he left it that way. Base hit to left. And Kelly's going to be able to take second. This place sounds like Shea Stadium here tonight with the Jets flying overhead.
Mike Kelly picks up a two-base hit on a smash that they finally get one by Brocious down the third baseline. Target is in, and he was right on top of it. Slashes it down the line. You see Brocious well off the line, and Mike Kelly will have a two-base hit. So the Devil Rays have a runner at second with one out.
Well, the Mets are playing it tough with Atlanta. They've gotten a run back. It's a 4-3 Atlanta lead. Mets batting in the top of the fifth. The hitter is Mike DeFelice, the catcher for Tampa Bay. Yankees up 6-1, top of the fifth. A Friday night crowd that's come to Yankee Stadium wondering if they're going to see the first ever American League team to win 112. And they're in great shape to do it right now. Oh, he didn't look like he could keep up with that pitch at all, did he? Talk about overmatched.
Well, first pitch was a slider away. You see Posada shift to the inside, right about bell time.
That had some zip to it, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. It hit that little. Plus, he drops down enough that right-handed hitters pick it up late. All that means something to
them.
El Duque, yeah.
It's taken a little while to reestablish communication. Here's a 1-1 pitch, one out in the fifth. 2 balls and a strike. Now, why not come right back with that same pitch when you've seen how overmatched he was on it?
Yeah, I think El Duque primarily gets right-handers out so successfully because of the breaking ball. And you throw one in there, you saw it happen the other night with Chad Curtis at the plate. Jason Hockney, I believe it was, came inside on him once, tried to do it again. He was ready the second time. So you throw another breaking ball out there and maybe another fastball. You see, you just plant the seed of a breaking ball in his mind, and then you go right back to the fastball. So you don't double up. Now, this is a fastball. That was towards the middle of the plate. That wasn't spotted. Wasn't spotted as well. You see how it tailed right back to the middle? That was supposed to be on the outer half. So now, if you're a hitter, what is he going to throw me? Is he going to come back with that fastball? He's got a good breaking ball, so you kind of caught in between, particularly from the right side of the plate.
Runner off of second is Mike Kelly. Tampa Bay, remember, the worst offensive team in the American League.
Woo.
This one gets away from Posada, and Kelly will advance to third. That was a wild pitch. Lots of pitching conversation going on with Joe Torre, Mel Stottlemyre.
Looks like he just held on to it too long.
Joe said he's going to probably announce the rotation tomorrow. And then coming up with the other 15 names is going to be a challenge. It's 3 balls and 2 strikes with 1 out and a runner at third. Got him. He just couldn't handle that pitch.
This is only the second strikeout of the game by El Duque, but once again, about bell tie right on the inner half, and that's a blind spot for Mike DeFelice. He couldn't hit the first one, couldn't hit this one, and he's out of there.
Here's a look from the National Finance Corporation Skycam. National Finance Corporation. Homeowners, lower your monthly payments. Apply by phone. 1-800-LOAN-NFC. Now top of the order for Tampa Bay, Quentin McCracken. One of the great names in baseball. He's hitting .296, 7 home runs, 59 RBIs. Most times if this team was doing anything good offensively, he was in the middle of it.
He's better known as Q.
Q, I like it. And if you want to know what it smells like at Yankee Stadium tonight, just go put some popcorn in your microwave, because the smell of popcorn is really, really strong, and it's a good smell.
Yeah, oh, yeah. Almost makes you feel like you're at the movies and you're about to see the 112th rerun of a Yankee victory.
Makes me feel like I'm going to head, after my innings are done, down to buy some popcorn, because I can't often ignore that. El Duque behind in the count, 2-0. Gets the corner, 2-1.
His ability to throw to the corners with his fastball tonight and spot it, that was basically the same pitch that he threw to DeFelice twice and had him swing through it. Oh,
now they're rubbing it in.
Look at the size of that. That's going to last throughout the playoffs. Or gone with the win.
Ground ball, Knobloch, Martinez, runner stranded. So El Duque completes his 5 innings. Maybe now he gives way to Andy Pettitte, in position to get the Yankees' 112th win. Yankees baseball is brought to you in part by Hoover. Nobody gets the dirt like Hoover. Nobody. Bottom of the 5th inning at Yankee Stadium in the Bronx, and the Tampa Bay Devil Rays are going to send their 3rd pitcher to the mound. And I guess Jose Cardinal wanted to talk to somebody and take his time before getting out to coach first base, but Luis Sojo took care of it. Yankees are a team in a great mood, great frame of mind. And here's the new pitcher for the Devil Rays, Mike Duval, making only his 2nd major league appearance. Yikes. He pitched 2 2/3 so far, allowing 2 hits, walking 2, didn't strike out anybody.
Made his major league debut.
And now listen for the applause. Joe Torre goes to his bench, and the fans love this. Shane Spencer to hit in the bottom of the 5th. Well, they're casting their vote. They have loved what they have seen from Shane Spencer and what he has done to the last few weeks of this 1998 season. In 57 at-bats, he has hit 8 home runs and driven in 22. Last night, he was the hitting star with the Yankees down and the bases loaded. To the front row of the bleachers, to the opposite field. Most impressive. Ground ball deep in the hole. Spencer is going to be retired, thrown out from 3rd. He hit for Tim Raines. And now 1 out in the bottom of the 5th.
Wait till next at bat.
I'm changing my vote.
I like the sign, though. Hit it over the fence, or Shane Spencer.
And now for Darryl Strawberry, Chili Davis is going to hit. And Joe Torre wants to use everybody. And with Chili Davis, he's trying to get him as many at-bats as he can to try and get him into some sort of a groove. I think Darryl had to be most impressive to Joe. He ran hard. He beat out a ground ball. He got a hit to the opposite field. Stole a base. And one of Darryl's great memories of 1998 happened at Shea Stadium. Remember, The bolt fell through the roof. The Yankees had to play the Angels there. It was tax day, April 15th, when Darryl Strawberry, back in his own grounds at Shea, hit a home run.
Yeah, the Angels paid up, didn't they?
Yeah, they did.
And they have recently, too.
Boy. Their offense just went away at the worst possible time. Here's Davis's numbers: 278, 3 home runs, and 9 RBIs.
How about if you're Mike Duval? I've just thought of this. Made 2 major league appearances. First one at Fenway Park, second one at Yankee Stadium.
Welcome to the American League, kid.
Yeah, in history.
So, Kenny, who do you think the disappointed Yankee is going to be?
That's a good question, and you know what? But I'm glad I don't have to make the decision. I would think it'd be more the pitcher than you know, one of the position players. It's going to be tough. It depends on how many pitchers they take. They've vacillated back and forth a bit, whether it's going to be 10 or 11. I would think during the World Series they'll only go with 10 pitchers. So they'll have that extra move off the bench in the games that will be played in the National League parks.
Well, we know they can't keep Leday, Spencer, Curtis, Raines, Strawberry, and this man. That's too much.
Well, I think Chili Davis is going to be there because he's been getting so many at-bats. They're trying to get him ready.
2 balls and 2 strikes. I mean, the Yankees love Ricky Leday. He can hit. He brings speed.
Inexperience.
I agree. To the gap in left center field. McCracken can't get it. This is a good sight for Joe Torre and the Yankees. A gap double by Chili Davis.
Well, McCracken was off at the crack of the bat, but this one was hit too well. Pitch down, middle of the plate, Chili Davis. Nice extension on the swing. And even with the speed of McCracken, he is in the retrieve mode in left center field. So Chili Davis with a 2-base hit.
For Mets fans, we have some good news and we have some bad news. The bad news is Keith Lockhart just hit a home run, bottom of the 5th. Atlanta 5, Mets 3. The good news is Houston's in front of the Cubs 3-2 in the bottom of the 4th. And at the end of this inning, Deb Kaufman will be at the MSG Sports Desk. I would imagine she's got Sammy Sosa's 66th home run to show us all. And then Marv Albert is back later after the G postgame. Oh, Deb Kaufman will be there. So El Duque's night is done. Posada fouls it to the upper deck. And he will be charged with 1 run, 4 hits, a couple of strikeouts, and obviously in good spirits.
When is he not? His English has improved during the course of the year, and he's trying very, very hard. As good as my Spanish was better years ago when I played winter ball and took Spanish in high school.
Duval has Davis caught between 2nd and 3rd. And Chili Davis won't win many rundowns. So he's tagged out. He got caught in no man's land.
Looked like the play went 1-5-6.
He just got too far off second.
Well, he thought that the ball might get over the pitcher's head, but it didn't. Duval comes up with it. Gets it over to McLean at 3rd, and Ledesma will slip into your picture here, and he's going to make the tag on Chili Davis. And all the time, Posada has to remain at 1st.
2 outs for Scott Brocious with the Yankees up by 5, out hitting Tampa Bay 9-4. Brocious had a big hit in the 3rd inning, driving in a run, a single. And there's strike 1 on the outside corner.
Well, we mentioned Butch Hobson last night with over 100 RBIs, batting 9th primarily for the Red Sox back in 1978, I believe it was. But with a man aboard, 1 swing of the bat.
And where will you be this week talking to the baseball fans all over the world?
No, I won't.
No?
No, I'll be home.
You will be?
Yeah. This division series, I'm not doing anything.
Oh, when it gets serious.
Yeah.
You only come in when it gets real serious. 1 ball and 2 strikes. That would be the international broadcast of the
American League Championship Series.
ALCS. Yankees certainly hope they're there.
And then the World Series to follow that. Then I get to go home again after that's over.
You get all that fan mail from Liechtenstein, right?
Actually, I had email during the games last year, and we got email from Nepal.
Nepal?
Yeah. We got it from Argentina, Japan.
Japan, good.
Australia. They're watching the game 8 o'clock in the morning in Australia. New Zealand. Somebody said when we ever got to New Zealand, they'd buy us a pint. So you get email, and the interesting thing about it, you have to understand that people around the world do not understand the rules of baseball as well as we do here. A lot of things we take for granted that everybody knows, they don't. So you have to explain things like a sacrifice fly and RBI. Australia, of course, they know Graham Lloyd.
Right. Runner going, ground ball to short. Nice play across the diamond. In time to get Scott Brocious. Nicely done by Aaron Ledesma. Meanwhile, one of the members of the Tampa Bay Devil Rays is Dave Silvestri. And guess what? Deb Kaufman was his prom date in high school in St. Louis when she was called Debbie then. Deb?
All right, after the game, we'll be taking a look at Al Trautwig's senior prom date. The Mets, Al, want to get to the big dance. They are in Atlanta with the postseason at stake, and they are trailing by a count of 5-3. They've moved to the 6th inning. Rick Reed gave up a couple early runs, and then it was 4-3 when Keith Lockhart got a hold of one. Butch Husky was all turned around. It didn't matter. He couldn't get it. It's now 5-3. The Mets are down 2. But they're actually okay for now because what a game in Houston between the Astros and the Cubs. Houston was up 2-0, and the Cubs tied it. Right now it's 4-2. We'll show you how they tied it. Sammy Sosa hit number 66. Mark McGwire had number 66 taken away, but no controversy here. Sosa hit a shot off Jose Lima and in the heat of a playoff race, but he may need to hit another. The Cubs trail by 2. Now, the Giants are 1 game behind the Mets and the Cubs, and they have an early 1-0 lead. They've jumped on top of the Rockies 1-0 in the early going at Coors Field. The Yankees are in line for win number 112. Their postseason is not in doubt. We'll continue here with Yankees baseball on MSG right after this quick timeout.